April 6th at St. Bridget's Centre for the Arts, there is going to be the Raw event, Raw Ottawa, featuring more than 45 local artists of every stripe.
Yeah.
And one of them is going to be Nancy Mirsky from Mahalia Glass Art. And she has brought some of her art with us to show us what's going to be on display at Raw. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
This is really spectacular. So you do glass blowing is what I understand.
Glass blowing, not in the typical sense of what you would think glass blowing would be. So mine is different in that I use my handy dandy little blowtorch.
Blowtorch. That's small but powerful.
It is powerful. It's powered by propane and oxygen so that I have enough heat to melt my glass.
Right.
And so that's the main art form that I do is blowing. And I also do fusing, which is different just in that the glass is melted in a kiln as opposed to on the torch.
Okay, so
and
you wouldn't, this is not blown, this is in a kiln.
This is fused. Yeah,
okay.
It's melted in a kiln.
And this thing at the end, this super colorful ball,
yes.
Is that this piece here, what would that be, a combination of things?
Which this one?
Wow.
This is actually a paperweight, and that's done in what's called a hot shop. So the traditional glass blowing, the large furnace, 2,000 degree furnace, that's where that is done. And I still do a little bit of that, but my heart kind of took me to blowing on the torch. And a part of that is that I could have my own home studio and be able to go down in my pajamas and coffee and,
and so
I like to sound
work my magic.
This is actually how your passion started?
It is.
Yeah.
A few years ago, I turned a corner, by the age of 40. And I kind of felt like I had limited myself, whether it was by, fear or complacency or whatever it was.
Decisions that we make as women?
I didn't feel like I had enough experiences in terms of there's millions and millions of things that you could try to do. So I made this list of what might I like to try in my lifetime. Glass had nothing to do with it, but I'm very creative. I come from a very creative family and a musical family, and so I got a coupon in by email one day about 5 years ago, and it was a glass blowing thing, and I thought, well, that's kind of neat. That's the kind of experience I could try, and it might open up my world a little bit. I had no idea. I had no clue what would happen, but 4 days later I was in a private lesson, and I was going to Corning, New York to the museum a few months later to take classes there. Very, very passionate about it, and I have so much love and joy when I'm working with glass, but especially in my pajamas with my coffee.
So now, how long ago was that?
That was about 5 years ago.
5 years ago. So as a result, now we have some of these spectacular pieces, this basket weave, and some of the other pieces. How long did it take you to perfect your I guess it's both talent and skill?
It is, and creativity. And it's coming up with the ideas that sort of differentiate.
Yeah, because from what I understand, this is what you start with.
That's right.
Yeah, and then you turn it into all of this beauty.
Into these pieces, yeah. These pieces actually start as sheets of glass, and you cut them into the designs that you want, maybe round or, and you stack the pieces almost like a wedding cake. And then that goes into the kiln. It goes up to 1,400 and some degrees, and it comes down very slowly over a number of hours. And that is called the annealing process, and it actually strengthens the glass and makes it more durable in the end. So you had asked me how fragile are these pieces.
Yeah.
The blown pieces are definitely more fragile, but I've dropped them. This particular piece is blown. I dropped it this morning on the floor, and it didn't break.
Okay. I didn't want to ask that question as a silly question, but I'm like, I love
it's
the
not
art.
It's not a silly question. No,
I just want to draw attention to these rather medieval-looking tools. I mean, they look like they might be something used for torture.
Yes,
but
they could be.
But they are. But they're actually, these are very specialized tools.
They are. This is my favorite tool. This is my blowpipe, and I have a number of these. And so normally if you've seen glass blowing, you've seen a 5-foot pipe and a big furnace. But this is my little glass pipe. It actually gives me, makes me feel calm. Yeah. So holding it is good for me.
So blow in one end and...
That's right. So it's hollow in the center. This particular pipe, and all of my pipes come from Murano, Italy. And not because I'm a tool snob, but because the tools there are made so well by the masters that they'll last forever.
Right.
And it's kind of cool to have something from Murano where the
Right,
masters are.
right. Well, these are, I mean, they're all fascinating to look at, but
Very cool.
where do you find your inspiration? Because I see, like, there is a couple of different styles going on here.
A lot of what I do is kind of abstract. My inspiration, it could come from anything. I could wake up one morning and see someone with a shirt on that I really love the color of, and that might just all of a sudden the wheels will start turning. For raw, it was really interesting. I was approached by David. He had seen some of my work at a show, and I was thrilled that he approached me. And I absolutely love the sort of crowdfunding idea and how that works. I think it's awesome for artists. And I'm very supported in my art, which is, I feel very grateful for that. But so once I knew I was going to do raw, it's just, this whole world opened up to me. And I started thinking, oh my gosh, I could do this and it'll be lit and I can have, you know, great backdrops. So the display there is going to be different than what's here. Some of these pieces, those were actually made for my daughter for a set that I'm making for her dining room.
Beautiful.
These pieces, the jewelry, sometimes what'll happen is I'll put an outfit on in the morning and think, I've got, you know, 400 necklaces downstairs and nothing that matches. This is crazy. And then I'll make pieces. And that's what happened with this piece, actually. I bought the top and loved it and wanted something that kind of popped, and so I blew a little pendant.
So people will be able to buy these pieces as well.
Absolutely. And on my Facebook page, they can go there. My website is under construction at the moment, but it'll be fascinating when it's up and running. But yeah, on my Facebook page, I have a big online presence. I'll be doing raw on April 6th at St. Bridget's in the market, which I'm just so excited about that.
It's going to be fantastic.
It's going to be really great.
You know, so many options for people and a little bit of something for everybody.
That's
I think, right. Well, listen, thank you so much for being on the show, Nancy.
Thank you.
Really good luck, and I'm just dazzled. Fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We are going to be back right after this with Cynthia Lavoie, who is going to bring a little bit of old into the world of fashion.